Namaste everybody, it's Michelle Skaletski-Boyd. I hope you're enjoying this Learn to Be Your Own Medium Crossing the Veil course. I'm just jumping in here just to say thank you so much for subscribing, for telling your friends, for liking, and feel free to comment. I would love comments as well. As long as they're full of light and full of love, I will allow them. So please spread the joy, spread to your friends, and remember, I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I a psychologist or a counselor, so please always seek those professional advices. None of this should be construed as such. It's really about getting in touch with your higher self and stepping into your wholeness. And during all guided meditations, be sure that you're not under the influence of any recreational drugs or alcohol, and that of course you're not behind any kind of heavy machinery or driving. Thanks so much and enjoy the experience, everyone.
Michelle, am I doing enough? Should I be doing breath work certain times a day? This is really a question that I've gotten a few times, and how specifically this masculine energy and this feminine energy really ties in when it comes to self-awareness, because we are really now at the tail end of self-awareness. We're really at the point now where you start to understand specifically how your intuition works, specifically what thoughts keep coming in your way, how your belief systems might come into play in terms of some of this. This is not about fixing anything at this point. This is not about diving in and doing anything. That's left brain, that's your masculine again, wanting to get it right or feeling like maybe you're behind. That's not what this is about. These first three are connecting you to your feminine energy, really helping open up the gateways to your intuitive creativity. So I just want to remind some of you, if you feel like you're falling behind or if you're wondering what the rules are, I want to remind you that this isn't about doing, this is about being, and being okay with being. That's the breath work. That's the now. That brings you into the present moment. So just kind of breathe that in for a moment and allow yourself to settle into that. Because as you do that, it just takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off. What I'd like to do is I'd like to talk specifically about the definition of awareness. Because as you all know, I love words. I love definitions of words. I love the vibration of words. And so if you look up the word awareness in the Webster's Merriam Dictionary, it immediately says that it's perception, it's knowledge, it is consciousness. So what is consciousness then? Well, when you look up the specific definition of consciousness, it is, and really listen to this now, really pay attention from your feeling center as I really emit the vibration of these words to you. Consciousness is noticing with a degree of centralized thought, or, that's the key word, or observation. Now, I'll tell you what observation means in just a moment. Many people, because of the left brain and the left brain being the conscious part of us, they go at meditation with this idea of wanting to control thought, right? Noticing the degree of thoughts. And I've asked all of you, start paying attention to your thoughts. This is one way of becoming conscious, one way of becoming aware. I'm going to invite you all to go a little bit deeper now today into self-awareness, where we're going to take that observation, and we're really going to start moving ourselves toward that window of self-trust. And so observation is defined as to watch carefully, to obey. That sounds kind of serious. But when you look up the word obey, this is what it says. Obey says to follow the guidance of. Now remember, this is about self-awareness. So to be conscious of yourself through the eyes of observation, it is to watch carefully and to follow the guidance of. who you are, your essence. So this, of course, leads in to self-trust, which is why I've asked all of you just to notice how you receive your intuition. Notice how your energy is. Notice what feelings are coming up. Notice how you might perceive the world. This is all taking and moving the conscious energies in a way that you can begin to move them into heart space and begin to connect with them. Open up that third eye. Begin to observe from a place of within. And remember, we talked about your energy field and being aware of how you're receiving energy and whether or not it's equal in front of you and behind you and to the left of you and to the right of you and above you and below you. I'm going to talk now specifically about the energies in front of you and behind you and how they relate to masculine and feminine energy. When it comes to the male-female polarity, the front side of the body from your head all the way down to your toes constitutes your female energy, the front side, okay? The back side is your masculine. And what happens oftentimes is when we go into meditation or when we go into connecting with somebody, we're connecting with them with our heart. And we're really giving them our love and our feminine energy. And we're seeing them and we're hearing them and we're feeling them, because that's all feminine energy on the front side of us. But when it comes time to actually allow that force to come through us in a way that feels intuitive, in a way that feels clear, we're ignoring the back side of us. This is why I say, open up the back, spread your wings, feel the energy behind you and allow that to be just as expansive. The reason for that is because the back side of the body is your supportive vehicle. It is that which drives that creative, intuitive energy. And so today, as we're going into meditation, I'm going to ask you again to really pay attention to your energy field. Be sure that you're centered. Remember, to be centered is to not be imagining your energy from here and, looking down at your body, but to actually be there. And when you're there, really not only be there on the front side of you, but feel it all around you, including the back side. This is why we need the masculine energy in this case. We need it to drive the creative forces so that when intuition opens up, we have the momentum to be able to move forward. I like talking to the left brain, because a lot of people have questions, a lot of people want to understand how stuff works, and many people want to feel safe when they go into the experience. And so I talk a lot to the left brain when we first get started, so then you can just sit back and totally relax, and as I like to say, enjoy the experience as we move forward. And we're going to take it really slow. And the reason that we're going to take it slow, there's actually two reasons. One is this is all about the finale of self-awareness. Now, each session builds upon the other. So you're always going to want to continue to be self-aware. But the finale and the fact that we're really going to drive it home. I'm really going to introduce you to the energies now of true self-awareness, from that observation piece, from that really following your inner guidance, to the point where today I'm going to not only assist you in recreating what it feels like to be centered, what it feels like to totally connect with the breath. I'm going to be asking you to pay particular attention to any symbols or any signs that might come in. And we're going to call upon a spirit guide today. And spirit guide to each person is a little bit different. Some people think about spirit guides as someone on the other side that's specifically lived with them. Oh, they're kind of guiding me from the other side. Some people say that they're angels. Some people specifically say, no, according to my definition, spirit guides are those who have never walked the earth before. They haven't been in human form, or at least they haven't been in my lifetime. There's all different definitions. Again, this isn't about being correct. Just follow your truth. Go with what feels good to you. The most important thing here is that you really, really notice and give yourself permission to whatever first comes in. So if you have a tendency to go in your head and to want to analyze, go with what first pops in, whatever it is, even if it's nothing, because even nothing is something. When you start describing nothing, nothing could be, oh, it's a big gray wall, or it looks like a big block of sand. It's nothing. Well, that's something. So pay attention. Or it's all black. Well, is it moving? Is it stagnant? Pay attention to what's happening, and as you notice it and receive it, as you observe it, as you move into the energies and allow it to carry you with the masculine energy, with the creative energies coming in from that driving force, what will happen is you'll get more information, and that beautiful information will eventually make sense. Now, what I mean by that is, when you receive it, you may not consciously understand yet what it means to you, but over time it comes in. This is kind of like when you go to a professional, traditional psychic or medium. They give you information and you might not get it. And then you go back and you start thinking about it, or you talk to a couple other people and they're like, oh, of course, it means this, it means that. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. It's gonna be kind of like that for some of you today. For others of you, you're gonna know. You're just going to know automatically what this is. Again, this isn't about measuring yourself against anyone else in the course. This is just simply trusting your higher self to begin to lead. Because remember, this is about consciousness. This is about moving yourself into that place of observation today and going with the guidance that's coming from your true essence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you what's called the self-induction. And this self-induction is, first of all, for some of you who don't know what inductions are, induction is just simply a term that hypnotherapists learn and what they use. An induction is a way to help you relax. Now, if we were working one-on-one and we were together, an induction might be, if I knew that you were a kinesthetic, I might raise your wrists and I might say, okay, become like a rag doll. I'm going to hold your wrists. And as I lower your wrist, you're going to get more and more sleepy, okay? This is an induction. There are self-inductions that you can do. And I'm going to teach you one self-induction today, because remember, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You're only going to go as far as you allow yourself to open up and to trust to go. This particular induction is it called eyes open, eyes closed induction. And you can do this on your own at any time, but I'm going to lead you and facilitate you at this point so that you can learn this. But it's really good because it not only gives your left brain something to do, because remember, we don't want it to, shut off. We need to be conscious of what's happening so we can label it, we can later reflect upon it, we can actually give it details. We want it to be relaxed enough. So we're going to give it a job to do. And that job for some of you, if you're analytical, is going to come in the form of counting or actually focusing. And for those of you who are more kinesthetic, it's going to be very experiential in the fact that you're going to be literally opening your eyes and closing your eyes. You want to first find a spot that you can gaze your eyes on. So find something that's a little bit above eye level, that's at least an arm's length away, and focus your attention there. So where my eyes are right now, it's going to be kind of similar for you. You're going to find a spot. Now, even when your eyes are closed, you're going to want to keep your eyes focused on that spot. Whatever that spot is for you, you're going to want to pretend that you're still looking at that spot, even when your eyes are closed. Now, this kind of feels similar, I know, to the last module, but it's different, and you'll find out how in just a moment. I am going to start to count. And as I count, with alternating numbers, you're going to open your eyes or close your eyes depending on the number. Now, each of you are going to be a little bit different. Some of you are going to feel the relaxation immediately, and you're going to want to leave your eyes closed. And even when I say open your eyes, it's totally okay for you to leave your eyes closed. That's the point, is to get you to the place where you can trust and you can relax. For others of you, you're going to notice yourself kind of tugging at the eyes a little bit, or some of you are going to, keep opening. That's all right. I'm doing this obviously in a group setting, and so I'm going to feel into the energy. And when I feel all of you have the eyes closed, there still will come a point where I'm going to give you the command. Let's say your higher self, it's going to lead you. It's coming through you and through me, because I'm channeling all your energy. I'm going to give you that command, and I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. And instead of actually opening them, I want you just to tug at the eyes. You're going to notice the energy. You're going to notice what it feels like as you start to tug, even though your eyes are closed. And then when you bring them down, allow all the energy to start moving down all the way through you, all the way through your toes. It's really going to ground you. It's going to anchor you, and it's going to set that intention even more. Remember, the intention is that we're going to connect with a spirit guide today. Now, it doesn't matter who the spirit guide is. You don't even need to know what the spirit guide looks like. That's not the point. The point is the spirit guide's going to assist you and give you some type of a symbol or some type of a sign that's going to help you today deepen your self-awareness so that you're ready to move towards self-trust. So as you're listening to the sound of my voice, what I'd like for you to do is focus all your attention on that imaginary spot. In a few moments, I'm going to begin counting. When I say the number 1, I'd like for you to close your eyes. On the number 2, you're going to open them. You're going to continue to open and close your eyes on alternating numbers, continuing to do this in this way until your eyes get to the point where all they want to do is remain closed, even if I'm saying that they should open. If I'm saying they should open and you just want them to close, just simply tug. Tug on the eyelids, leaving them closed, and then on the close, really relax into it. All right, so let's get started. To find that beautiful, special spot, setting that intention that your spirit guide is going to give you some type of a symbol, some type of a sign, some type of a knowingness that will really be able to strengthen your self-awareness today. Really allow you to move into that place of observation. Really open you to your own inner guidance. 1, close the eyes now, but keep them in position. 2, slowly open them. Good. 3, close the eyes again. Now just notice and become aware of how comfortable it feels to have those eyelids closed. 4, slowly open them. Good. And 5, closing down now, easily listening to my voice. 6, open. I can feel some of you are leaving the eyes closed. That's beautiful. Good. No matter where you are, just trust your inner guidance. 7, closing down now. Very soon the eyelids are going to get so relaxed that all they're going to want to do is remain nice and closed. And 8. Good. And 9. Good. Just letting them get comfortable. Very relaxed. And 10. Feeling the tug. Continuing to keep your eyes focused in positions on that spot. 11. More and more relaxed now. You're doing good. 12, softly and slowly, just notice the energy difference as you attempt to open. Good. And 13, down, down. 14 and 15, nice and deep now, allowing that energy to go all the way down into the toes. Setting the intention now that as long as you allow those eyelids to remain closed, you will allow yourself to experience that beautiful symbol beautiful sign, however it wants to present itself, even if it presents itself in what feels like nothingness, trusting it totally and completely, allowing that beautiful ta-da to take form. I'd like you now to visualize a beautiful sun. A beautiful sun slowly, slowly moving in a warm, radiant way so that it begins to hover right over the top of your head. So imagine this in any way you wish. As that beautiful, warm sunlight slowly positions itself right over the top of your head, I would like for you to set the understanding that this sun represents your left brain. It represents timelessness. It represents God source. It represents your consciousness in such a way that you can observe and allow your essence to lead the way. As you're going through this, really imagine that sun. Now bring in the beautiful temperature. Be aware of the energy in front of you, the energy behind you. And when it feels right, I want you to begin to visualize this sun slowly moving its way down the face. As it moves down the face, you might even feel your face and the sun's face becoming one. And you might even allow yourself to rotate that sun's face so that you can be aware of the energy behind your head, as though you also have a face behind your head. Good. Allow that beautiful sun to begin to move now and expand in such a way that the rays come down the face and into the throat. Really drink in the beautiful rays, the radiant beams. Allow it to expand now into the chest. As those rays expand into the chest, I'd like for you to visualize that sun slowly moving right into your heart space, keeping your face as one with the sun so that you can really feel the energy around your heart. Just take a moment and do that. Really feel the energy now from the front side of you and the back side of you. Good. Now, as you're really visualizing this beautiful sun, this radiant warmth right in your heart, I'd like for you to imagine that this beautiful sun is just sort of nudging its way off to the left side of your chest for just a moment. It's just going to kind of hover there. And as it hovers there, I'd like for you to bring all your attention back up into your head. And I want you to imagine now a beautiful moon, a beautiful full moon. It can be any color that feels good to you. Allow it to position itself right at the top of your head so that it's centered just like that sun was. Just notice any differences as you now set the intention that this moon represents your right brain. It represents that beautiful understanding of your mind. It represents that beautiful understanding of how everything works in its own perfect order, in its own perfect way. And as you're allowing yourself to feel that feminine moon energy, I'd like for you to allow it to begin the same path that that sun took. Allow it to slowly come down the crown of your head into your face. Notice the vibration. It might even have a different temperature than that sun. Just notice as your face becomes one with that moon from the front side. Notice how you can rotate it and allow yourself to feel into it from the back side. And allow those beautiful moon rays to begin to expand down into the throat, down deep into the chest. As you move with that moon, allow that energy to really center itself right at the center of your chest now, as your beautiful awareness, as the face of you in that moon, as you can feel into it from the front side of the chest and the back side of the chest. Really breathe into it now. Good. Now I'd like for you to take that moon and just kind of nudge it off to the right side of your chest for just a moment. Being aware that the sun is on the left, that moon is right in terms of energy. Good. Now when you're ready, I'd like for you to visualize that sun and that moon slowly merging right at the center of you. And as it merges, allow all time to end. Breathe in this feeling of nothingness. Allow yourself to move into those energies as I share a story with you. It's a dream story. It's a beautiful story. Just continue to keep your energies right in this beautiful place of timelessness, right in the center of you. As you're breathing into that, once upon a time, there was a beautiful you. And this beautiful you sat down in a large overstuffed chair, and you wrapped yourself in an Afghan as you began to watch the glowing logs in a fireplace. Just bring yourself into the scene as best as you can, allowing your higher self to lead. As your eyes became more heavy, you slip into a beautiful twilight sleep. And in your dreams, you slowly begin to be lifted out of the chair. Your physical body remains by that nice fire, as your emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies travel upward into a beautiful room filled with many mirrors. Just bring in the reflection of you. And allow this room to fill with the glorious color that represents your essence. Just notice what color comes in. It is here that your spirit guide awaits you. Again, just stay right in your heart space, in this beautiful place of nothingness, and allow the experience to come to you. If you find yourself looking for it in any way, recognize that it's because you've gone in your head and shift all of your energies down that beautiful pathway of that sun and of that moon, and give yourself permission to merge those energies once again as all time ends. In this beautiful room, I'd like for you to imagine that you're sweeping out all of the areas of your body that are filled with the illusions and the shadows and the beliefs and the emotions that might have gotten stuck, that represent things like fear or doubt or anger, sorrow or grief or guilt. Just feel into it and begin to imagine that you're sweeping out these areas gently and lovingly, working efficiently, knowing this really isn't a time to judge as to why they're there. This is simply a time to trust, to release, to let go. And as you're sweeping these areas within you, trusting that you're being led by your spirit guide and your essential true you, I'd like for you to imagine that there's something, some type of a receptacle, some type of a container that you can sweep this energy into, whatever works for you. Just give yourself permission to begin to sweep any of those heavy energies right into these containers, cleaning out your emotional body in such a way that you really feel purified again. And when it feels good to you, I'd like for you to imagine that as you're filling that last bin or that last bag or that last container, whatever is working for you, allowing your guidance to lead you, that there's a beautiful, beautiful opening above you, kind of like a sunroof, just sliding open. And that this golden, white, beautiful pillar of light just beams down upon you. And it opens as an invitation for you to toss those emotions into it, to purify them again. And as you feel good, as you're guided to do so, I'd like for you to toss those energies upward into the light. Allow that light to transform those emotions, those energies, to shed light upon those illusions so that you can really, really feel yourself in your energy of truth. And in a moment, you're going to be guided to leave your emotional body here in this beautiful reflection that represents you. Trust all is safe. And we're going to be taking your mental body and your spiritual body upward, even higher, where you're going to receive that beautiful gift. It's a gift that's perfect for you at this time. You might even sense or feel yourself lifting upward now. As I count from 1 to 3, give yourself permission to go a little bit higher, staying in that beautiful centered state right at the center of your chest, trusting you're being guided. And 1, higher and higher, and 2, lighter and lighter, and 3. Just feeling yourself land now, feeling your feet coming down on a beautiful, beautiful plateau. Just know that this beautiful space has been created just for you. Just bring in whatever wants to come in. It might be a sense of temperature, a sense of smell. You might be receiving colors or an awareness of where you are. Again, you might not be getting anything, and that's good too. Just trust whatever's coming in. And as you're really feeling yourself in this beautiful sacred space, I'd like for you to allow your imagination to open. I'd like for you to feel now your root chakra. Your root chakra is your physicality. I'd like for you to feel now whatever color might represent your physicality. Just bring in that color, just drink it in. Many people represent chakra represents the earth energy. So you might even feel that earth in red, the mesa, the beautiful, beautiful energy just coming up through you. Just draw in that beautiful energy, however it's coming into you. Just breathe that in. We're opening up your imagination. And as you're drinking that in, I'd like for you to give yourself permission to recognize that you're never alone. Even when you're physically in the presence of only yourself, you're always surrounded by your spiritual team, by your helpers, by your guides. Just simply sense their presence now. You might even be in a community or in a home right now or in a dwelling where there are others physically around you. You might have plants around you or animals around you. You might have neighbors or spouses or children. Just know that this represents your second chakra. This represents your family. This represents your tribe. This represents all those in your world or in the afterworld, which is also part of your world. This all is the energy representing the support that you have, both in the physical world and in the netherworld. As you're sensing that and as you're feeling that, I'd like for you to bring your attention right above your navel now. This is your core. This is your self-identity. This is your truth. Self-awareness comes from this place. This is the root of you in terms of you separating yourself from God's source so that you could have the experience of yourself. Yet this is also right at that navel, your connection to source. It is that place where the seat of the soul resides. It is that beautiful place for journeying, such as what you've done here now. This particular energy connects you to the illusions, connects you to the truth, connects you to your source, connects you to duality. It connects you in so many ways. Just feel into it. This is where your belief systems about yourself reside. This is where your self-esteem comes in. Just notice and feel this area for a moment. We're really deepening self-awareness. Notice any messages, any symbols, or any signs now that are coming in. Again, if you find yourself looking for these signs from your head, use that moon and that sun to move you back down, down, down into the heart. And then from that place, drop down into that beautiful chakra that represents you. That represents self. Notice any colors, notice any temperature, notice any symbols or signs. For some of you, it might even be a sound. It may be a glimpse or an image of something that might not logically make sense, and that's okay. Whatever you're receiving, trust that what you're getting somehow ties into your self-awareness. The awareness of who you are, your awareness of self. Remember that consciously, when we connect with self and we become aware of self, we can notice with a degree of centralized thought, which some of you, when you learn to center yourself, you did it from centralized thought. You only stayed in the head. Now you're learning to drop your energy and to move into that observation point, which is the seat of your soul, down, down, deep within you, watching carefully following the guidance of your truth, allowing your spirit guide to assist. As you move into this brief interlude of silence now, give yourself permission to stay in this beautiful centered space, feeling into it, trusting the energy. It might come as that vehicle, that masculine energy. Just simply allow it to come in its own time, in its own way. Your only job is to breathe, to accept, to allow. Whatever you're receiving is a symbol just for you. It has meaning. It's here to give you direction in the upcoming days. Allow it to bring you peace. Allow yourself to become aware of the presence of this within you. And as you're trusting whatever is coming in, again, even nothing is something, give yourself full permission now to feel your feet, to be aware of your body, to be aware of the message. Just take some nice deep breaths. And I'd like for you to spend the next few minutes now really feeling your energy, your breath, the silence, and any last messages that your spirit guide would like to deliver to you. when it comes to moving from self-awareness into self-trust, we must give ourselves permission to open our space of vulnerability. We must give ourselves permission to quiet our thoughts long enough to notice, to open our heart enough that we can move into this place of stillness, to use our breath in such a way that we can move to the present moment, which returns us to the now, which then opens up that vibration of nothingness. And it's through nothingness that we're then open to receive. And remember, the receiving side of us then fully opens. And simultaneously, that vehicle, that driving force from behind us, moves us forward into truth, allows us to connect with creativity. So then we feel inspired to take action. Again, feeling inspired as the feminine. Taking action then comes out the right side of us. It's all divine. It's all connected. It's all one. In some ways, it feels like a yin and yang. It feels like an infinity. In other ways, you can recognize that when you truly allow yourself permission to connect with it, it's all one. There is no longer a duality. This is part of self-awareness. It's to recognize that depending on your perception, depending on your level of consciousness, depending on your intention, will depend on whether or not you're noticing with a degree of controlled and centralized thought, or whether you're observing from within. You're watching carefully and following the guidance of your essence. So just taking a moment now and sending gratitude for whatever it is that came in. Recognizing that you can go back to this particular recording. You can give yourself permission to return here at any time. What I will tell you about relying on the videos or relying on the recording is that the left brain could start to depend on either me as a facilitator, or it could go and say, well, I know what's going to happen. And so it starts to anticipate. It's like a young child who their parent has read them a book so many times that even though they don't know how to read, they've memorized the book and they know what's going to happen. This can happen when we give the left brain too much control when it comes to meditations that are being guided and facilitated by someone else. So my suggestion to you is, if you're going to watch these videos, if you're going to go back and allow me to facilitate, only do it once or twice. After that, sit with yourself in silence. Begin to notice where your higher self wants to take you. It may begin at this place where we are right now, or it may take you in a completely different direction. Either way, begin to open to it. Be aware that this is part of opening your consciousness, allowing that masculine energy to drive you forward so your creativity, your imagination, and your intuition can unfold. So in a moment, you're going to hear me count backwards from 3 to 1. As I do, I'd like for you to return fully and completely to the room that you're in, recognizing and knowing that everything that's happening is all divinely timed, exactly as it should be, in every way, in every shape, in every form. And 3, soon wanting to stretch and to move. You might even rotate your wrists or rotate your ankles a little bit. And 2, continuing to send gratitude outward and inward. And 1, eyes awake, at your own pace, feeling great. I thank you for the opportunity of working with yourself in such a beautiful, trusting way. Thank you so much. Namaste.